If the thought of failing an OSCE makes your stomach drop, you're definitely not alone. OSCEs are high stakes, high pressure assessments, and even really capable, hard-working student nurses don't pass on the first time. But what is the process if you fail? Hello, you're on Shift with Sean, the platform that empowers student nurses with the knowledge, tools and support to build confidence in practice. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happens if you fail an OSCE in the UK, how feedback works, what resits really look like, how many attempts you have, and what your next steps normally are. So if you're worrying about failing or you've already had a result you weren't hoping for, this video is for you. After your OSCE, your results will usually be uploaded to your university's online system, and you'll either see a pass, which means that you've met the standards in all of the stations, or a fail with written feedback showing which stations or skills that you didn't meet the criteria in. Now, this feedback is usually quite short and to the point. It won't be a long explanation, but that's important. It might say something like infection prevention not followed correctly, communication not clear, safety steps missed, or consent not gained properly. Instead of feeling disheartened by this, look for the patterns. For example, if several stations mention consent or communication, that tells you exactly what you need to work on. A really simple fix can make a massive difference next time. Something like always starting with, hello, my name is Sean, I'm a student nurse. I need to check your blood pressure. Is that okay with you? By building that into every station, you're covering communication and consent straight away. OSCE feedback isn't there to criticise you. It's basically a roadmap as to how to pass next time. One of the biggest fears that student nurses have is thinking they have to redo the entire OSCE again. But in most UK assessment processes, you'll only have to resit the stations that you've failed. For university OSCEs, this is often the case too, although rules do vary between universities, so always check your course handbook or assessment policy. But generally speaking, most students don't have to redo the full exam. So instead of repeating everything, you'll be able to focus on the specific skills, the scenarios and the stations where you didn't meet that standard. So in theory, it's easier already than your last OSCE. So how many attempts can you have at an OSCE? Now, this is where things differ depending on whether you're taking university OSCEs or the NMC test of competence. For the NMC test of competence OSCE, which internationally trained nurses sit for registration, the rules are very clear. You can attempt the OSCE up to 3 times. There must be at least 10 days between attempts, and if you didn't pass by the 3rd try, you will have to wait 6 months before starting again and retake all the stations. For university-based OSCEs, it varies, and some courses allow 1 resit before academic review. Others may allow another attempt within a set time frame, and some programs may require you to repeat a module or the year before assessments are passed. Just a quick pause to share something that I have made for student nurses, and it is my nursing wellbeing journal. You are completing one of the most demanding courses there is out there, and feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, or like you're constantly on empty. It's usually your wellbeing that gets forgotten first. This nursing wellbeing journal has weekly and monthly check-ins to help you reflect on your stress, energy levels and your self-care. There's space for you to record the positives, prompts to reset each week, and a full year of journaling in one book. It's exclusively available on my website, shiftwithsean.co.uk. I'll leave the link in the description. Remember, you can't keep pouring from that empty teapot. Your well-being matters. And this is why it's really important to read your course handbook, to speak to your academic assessor or personal tutor if you have failed, and fully understand your university's progression rules. But the key thing to remember is that most universities do build in resit opportunities. Failing once does not automatically mean you failed the entire course. The fees then. So for university OSCEs, resits don't usually come with exam fees. But an important thing for university students to remember is that some courses require you to pass your OSCE before progressing to placement. So failing and resitting may delay your placements, delay your modules, and in some cases delay your graduation. This doesn't happen to everybody, but it's something to be aware of. Now, for the NMC test of competence for international nurses, resits do involve payments. Usually only around half the original fee if you're not resitting all of the stations, and full price if most of the stations were failed, and you usually have to return to the same test centre for your resit. What about appeals then? So some students worry that something went wrong in the exam itself. Now, for most universities and the NMC test of competence, they all have formal appeals processes. Now, appeals aren't for, I think I deserve to pass. They are for things like if the exam process was not being followed correctly, marking irregularities, administration errors, or serious extenuating circumstances like illness on the day. If you think something genuinely wasn't handled properly, you can speak to your academic assessor or student support team as soon as possible. It's also a good idea to familiarise yourself with your university's appeals and extenuating circumstances policies, even if you think that you'll never need them. Let's be honest for a moment, failing an OSCE can feel awful. But so many brilliant nurses didn't pass their OSCE on the first try. But what really helps after you do fail is going through your feedback calmly, practicing those specific skills and stations that you struggled with, working with friends and mentors, talking through those steps out loud, and building your confidence again slowly. An OSCE fail is not a judgment of your intelligence or your future as a nurse. It's simply information showing you where you can improve. So whether you're sitting a university OSCE or the NMC test of competence, failing an OSCE does not mean the end. There are clear systems in place for resits, support and feedback. What matters the most is using that feedback to prepare next time. If you found this video useful, please click like and subscribe for more student nurses to see this. Be kind to yourself. We've got this.